This will be a demonstration around how to locate suburbs that, one, match your personal preferences and requirements, so your price range, your price bracket, and location catchment area, and it will also revolve around helping you select suburbs in that catchment area and based on your requirements that have the highest capital growth potential in the short to medium term. So it's looking at on-the-ground numbers and scenarios in the suburb at the moment to assess each suburb's capital growth potential in the short term, so within the year, and medium term within the next 3 years. It does this by looking at suburb demand supply at the moment. So suburbs volume increasing in the previous quarter is a really strong sign of on the ground demand. When that's teamed with days on market, so the average time a property takes to sell, stable or dropping, it shows that demand is moving stock through quickly and relatively quickly based on the suburb's previous performance, and if that's decreasing, that's a positive. When you're teaming that with rent per week increasing in the previous quarter, it's showing that tenants on the ground today are wanting and willing to pay more to live in the suburb. This is going to increase yields, attract investor interest, but it also shows that people who want to live in the suburb now are willing to pay more than they previously did. So that's going to translate to price growth as well. That needs to be teamed with rent volumes stable or increasing as well. So it's not off a lowering base of rent volumes. Rent needs to be increasing per week off a firm base. So we combine those four things. We look at each suburb in the catchment area to form a capital growth score, and those scores are compared suburb for suburb to form a rankage. So what we look for is the highest ranked suburbs for that capital growth score in your catchment area. And how do we do this? So on every page we've got the click to search button in the top right hand corner. There's a few other options around searching for individual properties, searching for individual suburbs. In this case, we want to click on the capital gains preferred strategy badge. Okay, we can specify a maximum level of accepted crime in the area. We can specify a price range. In this case, I'll limit our price range to 500,000 is our budget. Let's go with New South Wales as our state. Let's have a look on the south coast region of New South Wales. We can further fine-tune by local government area and distance to CBD. Distance to CBD is obviously more relevant if you're looking in the Sydney area of New South Wales as a capital city. It is gauged to the distance to the capital city CBD. So let's run with this search. It's going to give us back basically all suburbs that match our criteria. So basically our catchment area and our price restraints, crime restraints. It's found 35 suburbs that do match those criteria in New South Wales under 500k in this region. It's listed them in order of their capital growth score. So this, as I mentioned, based on those four variables, it's a comparable rank between suburbs, and Kingswood here in New South Wales at number 1 is ranked in the 96th percentile for its capital growth score. So it's basically higher ranked than 95% of suburbs. Now the way I operate, and then I would recommend operating, is I wouldn't limit myself to just exclusively looking in Kingswood. We need to find the individual streets of interest that are relevant to capital growth in Kingswood, and then obviously properties. Let's look at this as a short list. We'll work our way down the list, become familiar with the area, find properties on the market that suit our needs, and go from there. But let's treat this as a short list, and any of the ones, any suburbs here of interest, we can click Add to My Suburbs for us to refer back to later. Okay, so let's get familiar with these numbers for each of these suburbs and then click through and analyse each of them for further sanity checking and due diligence.